I apologize if I seem a little distracted for this review. My wife and I are trying to decide if we should get a puppy or not. English Labrador Retriever, two English Labrador Retriever parents. It's not a mutt or anything like that. But the puppy's only like $500. Good luck finding one of those for less than $1,000. At least if it's purebred. I don't think it has paperwork or anything like that. Anyways, son of a mother. Anyways, good luck today. The clouds are out, so shouldn't be blinding the freaking camera like my last 5 reviews. That's what happens when I try to do reviews in the summertime. But yeah, I read The Sworn Sword, the second Dunk and Egg novella. And I think I actually liked it better than the first one, which shocked me because I didn't think I could like one of these books better than the first one, but I certainly did. I rated it a 9.8 out of 10. I really like the story. I feel like this one has a lot more symbolism in it, a lot more like metaphors and stuff. Maybe not metaphor. Yeah, symbolism I think is a really good way of saying it. There's a whole lot of lore in this one, talking about the Blackfire rebellions and who fought on whose side, and there's a lot of different lords and knights that are mentioned in this one, more than what were mentioned, I think, even in the first one. And they were literally at a tourney in that one, or a tourney in that one. So there is that aspect. If you're really into lore, then this one definitely has a lot of lore to it. I really enjoyed the story. These books, man, they really feel like The Witcher. If you've ever read the Witcher books, which the first 2 Witcher books were actually a collection of short stories that the author had published in a magazine, I think, and then he kind of compiled them and put them into books. It feels a lot like The Witcher. They go to new places, they save some people, or they do bad things, good things. It's, shit, that's a popo. Don't worry, I do have my seatbelt on, officer. Do the old shoulder lean. Oh, he hit his brakes. Don't do it. Don't you do it. Nah, he's good. He's moving on. He's moving on. Anyways, yeah, it's a lot like the Witcher books in that, just the structure of the stories. I guess that is kind of the structure of short stories, and you can only do so much with a fantasy short story about a traveling knight who fights things. You're going to run into basically the same structure. He might have turned around, but that's okay. That's all right. Oh, man, this is a foggy window. Anyways, yeah, great, 9.8. Definitely read it. I mean, I don't know why you'd read the first Dunk and Egg and not read the second one, unless you really hated it, but worth a read for sure. My boy, Sir Duncan the Rizmaster. I'm only a few pages into this third book, but I swear if he meets another, like, beautiful princess type stand-in that has the hots for him, I'm gonna freak out, dude. This is the second girl he's met that obviously had the hots for him, because he's 7 feet tall and built like a brick shit house, and he's kind of stupid. He's everything that a girl could ask for. But yeah, so one thing that I feel like maybe the wiki got wrong. Maybe I'm just completely wrong about this, but I literally double checked it. I looked up the wiki because I really like to know when there's like time skips and stuff. I want to know how long has it been since the last book and all that. So I looked it up, and it said that Egg was 9 years old in the first novella, and that he was about 10 years old in the second one. But I went back And when I checked everything that was going on, I think the wiki might have it wrong, because Dunk, when he first meets Egg, he says that the kid was about 8 or 9 years old. And in the second one, we know for sure that Egg is 10 years old. And Dunk also mentions in the second book that it's been 2 years since Sir Arlen died, and that Egg has been traveling with him for about a year and a half. So if he's, which even that doesn't really line up, because I thought Sir Arlen died like a week before the tourney, a week before he met Egg, but I don't know. But George has been known to have some issues with keeping continuity between his stories, so maybe it's partly that. But I'm 99% sure that Egg was 8 when they met. Now he's 10, or at least 8.5. At the oldest, I think he would have to be 8.5. And then, now he's 10 in the second book. Don't know how old he is in the third book. I'm assuming he's probably still 10, because they are on this journey to get to the north. And I think they start the book off just barely at Stony Sept, which is still technically in the Reach. I think it's at the edge of the Reach, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to check a map again. But yeah, I love the kind of twist that he learns about Sir Eustace, and how he actually fought for the Blackfires. I love learning a lot about the Blackfires and Brynden Rivers, Bloodraven, which I already knew a lot of that from the context of watching Game of Thrones YouTubers, theory YouTubers, and stuff like that. People like Quinn the GM, and of course Glidus and Swift. So I already knew plenty about Bloodraven. But man, it was really hard to... Targaryen family trees are always the hardest thing for me to figure out. I can't tell you how many times throughout reading these two books, these two novellas, that I had to Google Targaryen family tree and look around and go, wait, who is that again? Whose brother is it? But I think I got it pretty figured out now. Mostly. There's still some stuff I'm confused on, but I'll figure it out. Either way, Egg, my ring broke. Time to get another one. Egg is hilarious. He's really smart. I've always loved the dynamic of like the grumpy traveling Lone Ranger with a spunky little kid at his side. That's always been one of my favorite dynamics in fiction. So I think that might contribute to why I love these stories so much. But I loved the Red Widow, how she's actually really young, and 4 of her husbands have died, and it's actually kind of sad how 4 of her husbands have died. I think we only learned how 3 of them died. But either way, I mean, I feel kind of bad for her. I really hate that one guy, Sir, what was his name? He was the one that caused all the problems in the first place. He's a prick. He chews the red leaf stuff. But yeah, I really hate that guy. I wish Dunk would have just whooped the dog shit out of him from the beginning. But by the end of their first interaction, I'm like, yeah, I don't like this guy. At first, he seemed kind of just quirky, but then it was like, no, he's actually just a prick by the time they're done talking to him that first time. But yeah, amazing story. My boy Dunk got his first kiss, which I don't even think it was technically his first kiss. I'm pretty sure he mentioned he had a different first kiss at the beginning, but maybe not. Maybe I'm mixing up my stories. I might be mixing up my stories here, but yeah, and he got to kiss her. He got a little lock of hair, and now they're moving off towards the north. And I'm really excited about it. And once again, I'm really sad that these books, we're probably never going to see the end of this story, because George has said that he's going to write more Dunk and Egg books, but after he finishes The Winds of Winter, of course, he's mentioned that like 4 times on his blog, that he has to finish Winds of Winter first, then he's going to make more Dunk and Egg books, which I hope we get Winds of Winter. I hope Winds of Winter is announced at Comic-Con. Probably won't be. He said he's going to announce it on his blog first, but he is going to Comic-Con as a guest of honor and all. Who knows? You always get your hopes up. You know how it is. if you're a fan of these book series and you're waiting on Winds of Winter, you know how much you get your hopes up when it comes to any time George fucking breathes the wrong way. Everyone's like, oh, he's about to release Winds of Winter. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Finally, after all these long years. But I'm hoping he announces Winds of Winter then. Come October, I think is when it's supposed to be. And then we get like 2 Dunk and Egg novellas. I really hope it's like this thing where he's like, oh, I actually wrote 3 Dunk and Egg novellas already, and we can release them incrementally over the next few years. Not going to happen, though. We all know that. Either way, like I said, we're probably not going to see the end of this story because he would probably be highly encouraged to finish Dream of Spring first and then knock out those last Dunk and Egg novellas. And there's a lot of story to cover still. If I'm not mistaken, we're still in the first 2 years of these guys' relationship, and a lot of people assume that this Dunk and Egg storyline has to end at Summerhall, and George has done a good job of keeping a lot of mystery around Summerhall. I think specifically because of this, that's where Dunk and Egg is meant to end. And I think he said something, he has like 7 or 8 Dunk and Egg stories planned, which means he probably will need like 12 to actually finish the story, and he's only written 3. So yeah, there's that. But 9.8 out of 10, I absolutely loved it. I think a lot of people, the third one is their least favorite, but still, I'm excited to read it. I'm enjoying it so far. They just barely made it through Stony Sept. I'm literally only like maybe 8 pages into it so far. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. I'll finish it up whenever I can. Thanks for watching. Adios.